Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. And first of all, Happy New Year, since this is our first webinar in the new year of 2023. And we appreciate everybody that has joined us today. I'm Tommy Marks. I'm the director of the Virginia Minority Business Development Agency's Business Center and the vice president of the Capital Region Minority Supplier Development Council. A little tongue twister. On behalf of our president, Sharon R. Pender, again, we welcome you to this edition of our webinar series, where today we will highlight United States Department of Agriculture, which will be represented by Ms. Michelle Warren, who I will bring on screen shortly. Just want to share with you that, our success to date is based on the willingness of agencies like the Department of Agriculture to participate in our webinars, and then you all that decide to sign up and participate, because without you, we would not, we'd be talking to nobody but ourselves. And we know we reached a lot of folks with a lot of good information that hopefully has been very helpful in your business experiences as you decide what you're doing with your business and who you want to do business with. Again, welcome. We look forward to words from Ms. Warren, but just a little bit about it before she comes on. She is the deputy director of the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization for the Department of Agriculture. And she asked me not to eulogize it, but you got to know who's talking to you. And she comes with a wealth of experience in her background in the agriculture arena, working with the Department of Agriculture, where she started in 1988. She is a graduate of Virginia State University with a degree in agriculture, business, and economics. So I can assure you that she has a lot to share based on her personal experiences and her work experiences, but also the fact that she is now as a deputy director. Her primary mission is to maximize opportunities for small businesses, small and minority businesses, in fact, to participate in the Department of Agriculture's contracting activities in order to help them with their mission requirements. And she's going to share some information, and I won't steal her thunder, but when we were back in the green room, she shares some information that I clearly was not aware of on what organizations and bureaus make up the Department of Agriculture. And you'd be surprised. You will be surprised. So, the OSDBU's core value in their mission statement is educating and supporting the buyer and the seller is what they do. And Michelle's philosophy is what you want to do is think about what you want to do it, then think about what you've done. And so without further ado, I will ask Ms. Michelle Warren to grace us with her presence as she will share with us some tidbits about her agency and then provide an overview. And then we will go through a series of questions and even open the questions up to the audience. So please put your questions in the chat. I have a team that's behind the screen that will assist us in answering those questions, sharing your questions that you've asked her. And I can assure you she will do the best she can to answer those. And if we can't get them answered today, we'll come back to you because we have all your email addresses. And this also is recorded. And when we're done, if you fall asleep, which I doubt seriously you will, you'll be able to go even with some coffee and donuts in your quiet place and listen to us all over again. So as she unmutes and comes to us, Ms. Michelle Warren of the United States Department of Agriculture. Welcome, Michelle.
Thank you, Tommy. I appreciate it. I hope nobody falls asleep. But thank you so much for that introduction. And thank you, Virginia MBDA Business Center, for having me today. Today, I just want to chat a little about USDA and my office, the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization. So USDA's mission is to provide leadership on food, agriculture, natural resources, rural development, of course, nutrition, and other related issues based on sound public policy, scientific evidence, and efficient management. Thomas Vilsack was confirmed as the 32nd United States Secretary of Agriculture on February 23rd, 2021. This is his second term, and we are so glad to have him back. Mr. Vilsack worked so hard to strengthen the American agricultural economy. He also built vibrant rural communities and helped create new markets for innovation in rural America. One thing I want you to know is the U.S. Department of Agriculture is highly decentralized, and we're made up of 29 agencies, which we have 10 buy-in agencies. So because we're so decentralized, that means one agency each agency purchases what they need to purchase, depending on their goods and services that they need. We have nearly 100,000 employees who serve the American people at more than 4,500 locations across the country and abroad. We also spend approximately $6 billion annually. And of course, the majority is spent on food. So like Tommy said, he learned some things behind the scenes before we got started concerning USDA, what we purchased and where Smokey the Bear came from. And but we're a large buyer of commodities and food products. That's number one. We're a large buyer of information technology, environmental services, architecture and engineering, construction. We purchase real property, other services like supplies, including professional administrative, management services, janitorial services. So you see, we're not just food. And that's where a lot of people, businesses, they get confused because they hear agriculture. Oh, that's just food. Well, no, we're not just food. And you can see that, with those things I've listed, we are not just food. We also are the leader of the federal anti-hunger effort with the school lunch program, the school breakfast program, and also the WIC program. We're the steward of our nation's 192 million acres of national forests and rangelands. This comes from our Forestry Service. We're responsible for the safety of your meat, your poultry, and your egg products. We help ensure open markets for U.S. agricultural products and provide food to aid people in need overseas also. We bring housing, modern telecommunications, and safe drinking water to rural America. So again, we're not just food. So if you don't remember anything, please remember, we're not just food. So that's a little bit about USDA. So my office, the Office of Small and Disadvantaged Business Utilization, better known as OSDBU or OSDBU. It's a great place for small businesses interested in contracting opportunities here at USDA to get started. We were established here at USDA in June 1979. And I want to say that every federal agency, they have an OSDBU office. So we are not the only federal agency that has an office like this. And again, our mission is to ensure small businesses like yourselves have the maximum opportunity to compete for procurement opportunities here at USDA and provide department-wide leadership for federal small business contracting programs. Excuse me. Basically, we have two program areas: oversight and accountability, which includes policy development, regulations, and intervention between the small businesses and the contracting office. So if you have a problem with the contracting office, or you have questions about a certain solicitation, you can contact our office and we'll look further into it, the issue, and we're going to contact that particular agency and find out what's going on. So we're going to intervene. Our outreach and small business assistance, we have our procurement forecast and identification of contract opportunities. This is updated twice a year. And we also have our subcontracting directory, and I'll give you those websites. I'll give you those at the end. So we have the forecast, that's twice a year, and then we also have our subcontracting directory that's on our website. We support all of USDA agencies. I mentioned that before. If you have an issue, please contact our office, and we will definitely try our best to help you. We have matchmaking and conferences. We exhibit in various other conferences or events. Since COVID, we've been trying to get back on track during our vendor outreach sessions, where we actually have small businesses come in and talk to our program people one-on-one. And you have 15 minutes to speak with them, and then you move on to the next agency. Again, we have 10 buy-in agencies, so you want to have that, your questions ready, and you want to market yourself to our buy-in agencies. So we're going to start that back up soon. We also have what we call small business connections. And this is basically internal and subject specific. When I say subject specific, we have various socioeconomic programs. And I'll get into the goals in a little bit. So we may have one session which is strictly with women-owned small businesses. For women-owned small businesses. We may have one for strictly 8As. We may have one strictly for HubZone. So this is internal, and we invite those particular socioeconomic groups into our small business events. And then what we have are rural small business connections, and this is mostly external. So we're going to host these events outside of the U.S. Department of Agriculture. We're going to go to New Mexico, or we've had events in Oklahoma and all over the country. So we want to try to start having more and more of those. We pre-COVID, we were having 2 or 3 a year. Again, we have these events throughout the country. We've had one virtually, but we want to try to get back out person to person. So part of our OSDBU mission is to encourage small businesses to do business, with USDA, of course, by hosting events that introduces businesses to our buying needs. And in addition, OSDBU trains USDA agencies to realize that small businesses are capable of supplying the goods and services to meet their requirements. So when we have them, we have the agencies send us reports stating, you know, they state that they don't want to do a small business set aside. Well, they have to prove to my office, and I have to sign off on it, saying, okay, show me, I was going to say, show me the money, but show me all the market research that says there are no small businesses out there that can compete for this, this product. And if I don't agree, we also have a procurement center representative in our office. He doesn't agree. We're going to go back to that agency and say, hey, no, more market research to find out whether or not, you know, there are some small businesses out there. So, and we're also responsible for reporting the department's small business achievements. Every year, SBA sets small business goals for federal agencies, each federal agency. The Small Business Act establishes government-wide goals in which federal agencies must adhere to. If you're not familiar, the government-wide goals are as follows. You have small business, it's 23%. Small disadvantaged businesses, which used to be 5% overall, is now 11% per federal agency. Women-owned small businesses, 5%. Service disabled veteran-owned small businesses, 3%. And then you have your hub zone small business, 3%. Now, while the overall government-wide goal is 23% of annual small business prime contract awards, SBA goes even further. They will assign individual maximum practical goals to each agency. SBA assigned USDA in fiscal year 2022, which government agencies, we go by a fiscal year calendar, which is October 1 through September 30 of each year. Our goal for USDA was 47%. Now, the government-wide goal is 23%. USDA goal is 47%. So that's a big jump. But, and then the small disadvantaged business goal was 11%. USDA's goal was 21.5%. That's almost double. Although the final percentages aren't in yet for our fiscal year 22, I am happy to say that we have exceeded that 47% small business goal that's required from USDA. We have exceeded that goal at 64.24%. For the last 11 years, we have received a scorecard from SBA. We get graded just like you're in high school or elementary. We get graded also. So for the past 11 years, 12 years, we've actually received an A on our scorecard. And we get presented, you know, a little plaque or certificate. But, you know, if the higher your goal, the more you meet your small business goal, you know it's going to go higher and higher. So with us exceeding our goal of 47% with the 64%, Our goal now, which we just received our goal for FY23, is now 55%. So, but you know, we are working very diligently to achieve that goal. And actually, right now, I can say we're at 65%. So I'm very happy about that. We do a lot of outreach, whether in-house, out, you know, or external. We believe in small businesses. We want to help those small businesses out there. And we really, this is what our office is for. That's just a little about our office. Again, we purchase maintenance, we purchase software, we have government-owned facilities, IT, construction. I was explaining earlier, we purchase helicopters. A lot of people don't know that. Our Forest Service, which was one of our largest buying agencies, they purchase helicopters, they purchase girdles. For what reason, I have no idea, but they do. When the ALAR with the apples, and we purchased the vaccine for that. We purchased vaccine for the flu. We purchased so many things. So I just want you to realize we're not just food, tree thinning, land treatment, you name it, we have it, water supply systems. So we're here for you, and just reach out to our office at any time, and we'll try to help you as best we can. One thing I didn't mention is we do have, within those buy-in agencies, we have what we call small business specialists. And the small business specialists, they're the closest to the program office and the contracting office. And sometimes those small business specialists are contracting officers. So we actually go to them, and they're going to know who exactly to speak with as far as a certain procurement. But that's what we do. That's who we are. And again, we're here for you. Whatever you need, we can try and do our best and give you the information you need and want. I do want you to our website, give you our website is USDA.gov/DA/OSDBU. And that's all I have, Tommy. So if there's questions, or if you want to, I really do want to thank you again. And I look forward to hearing and talking to you.
All right. Hey, thanks very much. And very well covered. In fact, my first question, which you already answered, was about where do I go and find your forecast? And it's in the chat, folks. I think Claudia has put in there twice. Also in the chat is a link to some handouts that Ms. Warren has provided us. And so please make sure you take that down. There are about 6 questions in the question chat. And I think what I want to do, team, is go to those questions first to give due justice to the folks that have formulated those questions for Michelle.
Very good. Thank you so much, Alice Williams. Ms. Warren, the first question comes from Don Johnson. And Don is asking, would you give more information on the environmental services you buy?
Sure. So as far as environmental services, that's going to come from our we have different various studies and analytical support systems. It's going to come from our Natural Resource and Conservation Service. Or our animal and plant inspection service. They build dams. We have bridges, water systems. On that, one of those sheets that were in the chat, you would reach out to Cheryl. I forgot her last name, but she's on there for farm production and consumer services. And it's also on our forecast out there. So, and I don't know if it was in the chat for our forecast, the website.
Yes. So
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So the website.
Cheryl Welch. Thank you.
There you go. Thanks, Claudia. And the link to those handouts that Michelle's talking about, that's in the chat. So make sure you take that down. It's a wealth of information that she has provided that you can reach out to some folks. Okay, Alice, the next question.
Yes, absolutely. Ms. Warren, just one shout out. I just want to pay respect to that. You had a shout out from Tadra Thomas, who's a former contractor yours, said Happy New Year.
Oh,
but the next question is a 3-part question. And so I'm going to read each question, allow you to answer the question and then go to the next question. The first question is, does USDA allow teaming agreements instead of forming legal joint ventures or bid on projects? That was the first question.
It depends, because we have 10 buy-in agencies, it depends on the specific agency, how they do their contracting. So you may have one agency that will allow joint ventures and joint ventures. It just depends on that particular agency, how they do their contracting. I wish I could go deeper, but I can't because each agency is different.
Very good. Thank you. The next question. One big challenge for small business is not being able to substitute personal experience for corporate experience. Oftentimes, we are highly qualified for a project, but we cannot bid due to the requirement or experiences as a corporation. So it's not a question, but is there any way you can address that?
Yeah, that's unfortunate. Because a lot of times it's past performance. And if you're a new company, you don't have past performance. But again, depending on the agency, I know for food, they will allow you to bid. But if you do bid, I think they have it in a clause. Make sure you don't bid over a certain amount. And that will help you get that past performance, and it won't put you up for failure.
Thank you so
but
much.
It's bad that
Yeah. The next question, does USDA have an accessible database with next codes to approach USDA approved vendors for teaming on projects pursuit?
We have our procurement forecast. It's in the chat. Laverne Walker in my office, she's in charge of that. Laverne.walker@usda.gov. She's in charge of it. She will walk you through it. If you have any problems, issues, Laverne will be there to help you. It has all the NAICS codes. You can sort it or filter it. And our forecast is, because we have the agencies, we have each one of them separate, each one of the buying agencies separate. So it's very user friendly, but if you have a question, problem, please contact Laverne. And we actually, when we go to conferences, she will bring a laptop or tablet, and she will go over it with you.
And I can attest to that. Ms. Walker does exactly what Ms. Warren has said.
Very good. Thank you. The next question, Ms. Warren, what are the buying agencies?
Okay, so the buying agencies, and hopefully I won't forget one, you have Animal and Plant Health Inspection Service. So, APHIS. So this includes they purchase vaccines, waste treatment, sanitation. They're very high on vaccines though. We also have Food and Nutrition Service. They are in charge of, as far as food is concerned, they're going to go out there and they're going to get the orders from the different schools. And then it cycles back to the Agricultural Marketing Service, which is another agency. That's our buying agencies for the food. So F&S gets the Food and Nutrition Service, gets the orders, it cycles through, goes to come out at Ag Marketing Service. You also have Food Safety and Inspection Services. So you have these people, graders, and going out and checking to see if the food is good. You have Forest Service, which is, again, one of our largest buying agencies. You have Farm Production and Conservation. They have, I believe, three different sub-agencies within that agency. Okay, that buying agency. So you have your Natural Resource Conservation Service, you have Farm Service Agency. And then the other one, I can't remember the other one, but I know there's three. Then you have Office of Inspector General, legal, of course, rural development. You have AMS, you have the Office of OCIO, Office of the computer place, the computer office, you know, the IT, all of that. I don't know how many I've said already. Food and Nutrition, APHIS, AMS. You have, I think that's all. I'm not sure if I said all 10 of them, but I will say, if I haven't listed them all, oh, you have Departmental Administration. I should know that because that's my department. And that's your main department. So that's where that, the Information Technology Group, that's one of the sub-agencies in there, which is, we have them set aside themselves. But I will say, even though we have these various agencies, all of them are going to purchase IT. Each and every one of those agencies are going to purchase IT. A lot of them are going to purchase professional services, supplies, maintenance. So even though they're, you know, have their own buying authority, they're going to purchase basically the same thing, but they have their own, because we're decentralized, they do their own purchasing.
Thank you, Ms. Warren. There is several more questions, so I'll just go right through the list. The
Okay.
next question, Ms. Warren, as you mentioned, the in-person small business industry events that prior occurred at the Witten building in the National Capital Region, do you have a target date in 2023 that you are striving to meet? Those in-person events prior to COVID were very valuable to small businesses, the small business community.
Oh, I'm striving to have this done by I want to, well, I'll probably, to be honest, I'll probably have one more virtual first. And I'm aiming for February, the end of February. And then the in-person one will not be until April. But things could change. And we do send out notices to people, because the in-person things are, I'd rather be in person versus virtual. So.
Thank you so much. Next question from Sylvia Garvey. She said, thank you for your presentation. If interested, she's want to know if the forecast that you mentioned, do you recommend you first speak with the small business specialist before contacting the POC listed in the forecast?
Yes, or you can contact Laverne and ask her.
Okay, very good. Next question, does insurance fall under this procurement services? If not, where would we be able to see those opportunities?
In which area?
Insurance.
Because
They're talking about
insurance.
So I'm assuming if whoever addressed this question, if you could come back and ask, tell us what type of insurance, we'll readdress your question. Okay, next question. We are a software consulting company. How do we participate in software staffing and custom software development projects?
Okay, again, our forecast is very important. We publish it twice a year. It just went live in October. It'll go, and we'll update it again in April. Once you, if I were you, I would go on our forecast and look up the NAICS code, then see who the specialist is, or if they have a contracting officer name, you can call them for more information, or if anything, you can email me and then I can introduce you to that specialist. But I'm going to tell you who that specialist is. But my first thing is go to the procurement forecast and find your NAICS code, so you'll be better, you'll be ready to speak with the small business specialist or the CO.
Okay, next question. Has USDA achieved its goal for 8A procurement goals in 2022? And what is the 8A set aside goal for 2023?
So there's a misunderstanding. There is no 8A goal within SBA, okay? So we don't have goals for 8A. We have goals for small disadvantaged businesses, which includes 8A,
Right.
okay? So you gotta remember that. For FY22, our goal was 21.5%. We achieved, off the record, we achieved that goal. I think we had like 20, no, because they raised it. We had 20, I want to say 23%, 22, 23%. We did achieve that goal. But the main thing is there is no 8A goal. There's an SDB goal, which includes 8A. And we did achieve it. And for FY23, our SDB goal is 22. What is our SDB? Our SDB goal is 22 point, I want to say 22.40 or some 22.5. And we've already achieved that at 22.9. We're already achieving, we're surpassing that goal now already. And even with the 55% goal for FY23, we're surpassing that goal already at 65%. So we're on the move here.
Okay, very good. Thank you. Congratulations on achieving that already. The next question is there a contract for facility/construction services? A contact? Again,
I can give you a name. I'm not sure right offhand. the small business, the procurement forecast would let you know if there's something out there. I would give you their particular names I would give. You can talk with Danielle Knipper, which is in departmental administration. But I would check the forecast first to see what agency, because again, we're decentralized and each agency purchases. And that's what makes us unique, because we have the decentralization here and each agency purchases what they want to purchase.
Great. Next question. It's a piggyback question, but the question is, at a high level, what are the kinds of technology challenges USDA is facing?
Unfortunately, I can't answer that question because all of the agencies purchase their own. I would talk to Lawrence Gill, and he's on that fact sheet, the small business specialist sheet, and he probably, because he's in that OCIO arena for the agency, so he probably could answer that question. So I apologize.
Okay, next question, I believe you already addressed. So I'm going to ask that maybe we put it in the chat somewhere or send it out later or post on the website. But it asks again, can you please list the 10 buying agency of USDA? So I'll skip that and go to the next question. I've established a food distribution agreement with a major big box supplier. How can I provide food products to USDA without past experience?
You can get on their contact list. You want to contact Andrea Lang. She's on that small business specialist list. She's with Agricultural Marketing Service, and she can further direct you. And that's why I said, and this is for food. Was this, or was it strictly for food, or?
Yes, it said box food. Yeah, big box supplier. They're a big box supplier and they're food distributor.
Okay, yes. You need to contact Andrea Lang or Deanna Day. They're both with the Agricultural Marketing Service, and they'll put you on your website. They're one of the main agencies that will work with you if you don't have too much past performance or any past performance. Yeah.
So Alice, let me just interject. So and this is for the folks out there in virtual land. There's at least one gentleman, Sylvester Bush, I believe his name is. As I look at all the questions, the primary website that Claudia put in the chat takes you to the forecast, and those 10 agencies that she named are listed there, and they are aligned by the forecast is listed by the buying agencies. So if you go to that, if you haven't had a chance, you look at it, you'll see their FY23 forecast is already out, listed by those agencies, and there are 10 of them. And so that information is there. So I just wanted to interject there because that question actually has been answered by somebody that's in the virtual audience that went to that website and has posted it in the question. So thank you, Mr. Bush.
Yes, thank you so much. Ms. Warren, the next question is very broad. I will ask the question and you'll make a determination. Do you want to defer it or respond? But said, would USDA consider contracting with the HR management agency for their engineer internship requirements? Said we are at LOD Resource Group Management, and we do the stipend program for U.S. Department of State, where we can create adversity programs to surpass their inclusion goals. We're currently applying these services for city government and recruit from schools throughout the USA. They're going to say that we're 8A hub zone, economic disadvantaged women-owned small business.
The answer is yes. That's under departmental administration. That's where our equity, diversity and inclusion group is. You can contact Danielle Knipper in that buying agency. And she's on that, she's listed on there.
So Ms. Warren, you have a bunch of accolades here. So I just want to acknowledge Kelly Cagle from Vimmer Matex. I think that's how you pronounce this. I want to thank you and thank Cheryl Welch and Daniel Kniper. They are all wonderful and provide so much insight. So that's a great compliment.
You're welcome. Thank you.
The next question, does the agency support single member LLC business for 10 years with past performance in the specialty? It all say just not in the new platform. Will they allow work with partnerships? What if certifications give an edge to the business? What route do you recommend for that? What is the payment layout for this agency, timeframes, et cetera? So I hope you can understand that question.
I do understand, and I would have to defer that question to the various buying agencies, because we're not a contracting office. So, you know, you can speak with one of those small business specialists in the various agencies. I would again go to Danielle Knipper or Cheryl Welch, or even I'm trying to think of her name, Ashley Thompson. I would defer to them, because it depends on the agency. A lot of agencies have just one buying source, and we have lots.
Okay, Ms. Warren, we're almost there. This is another two-part question. It says, what is your role related to school meals? And then the second question says, what would you say is your role to develop local communities?
Well, my role for school purchasing, I actually used to purchase the food for the school lunch program prior to coming to this position. So right now, my role is just to make sure they do set-asides for various products, and subcontract with small businesses to get that product purchased. And I forgot, what was the second one? My role. What was the second one?
The local community.
So the local community, we actually, we are working with, and I actually just got put on this committee a couple of weeks ago. We're actually, USDA and a few other government agencies are working right now on local purchasing. It's a committee concerning that. So they're trying to get more local buys, local purchases within each community. So we're working with the White House on that right now. But I know AMS, Ag Marketing Service, they do buy local. They have purchased local in the past. And I believe they're still doing it now. They're buying more and more. At first, they didn't buy, when I was there, they didn't purchase a lot of fresh stuff, but now they're doing more local fresh purchasing. So you could contact Andrea Lang on that from Ag Marketing Service.
Okay, next question is also another question. It says, what is the best way to find out the technology challenges faced? I think you addressed that. But the second part of the question says, we have been trying for a while to get in touch with decision makers at USDA on technology with barely any luck. Would you have any recommendations on who we should talk to or how we should go about it?
Okay, Lawrence Gill is the small business specialist there. We actually just, he just became the small business specialist for our technology office. So you want to contact him. You can CC me on it, on your email. And if he doesn't respond, I'll reach out to someone else. But start with Lawrence Gill. And he's on that OCIO.
Okay, very
agency.
good. Next question. Has USDA achieved their Hub Zone goal?
Yes. The Hub Zone goal is 3%. I think it's 3%. We have last year, I mean, for FY22, I think we had like 5%. We're already achieving our goal now for Hub Zone. I think it's either 3 or 5%, 3%. We're already achieving that goal now at 6%. The only one we're low on, we're achieving it, but we want to keep on achieving it, is service disabled veteran-owned small business. But we've achieved all the other socioeconomic groups.
Thank you so much. Next question.
So Alice, time for one more.
Absolutely, sir. Thank you. Does the USDA accept minority certifications from states, for example, MBE certifications from Maryland?
Repeat that, Alice, please. Do we?
Yes, to talk about other state certifications like, the Women-Owned Certification Hub Zone. They're wondering if USDA accept other certifications such as the MBE certifications from the state of Maryland.
Okay, well, you have to be certified. One, you need to be certified by SBA. So once you're certified by SBA, you're usually, that certification carries a long way. So we would accept certifications, but you need to be certified by SBA. And I will plug in one thing. If you need help with any certification, you really need to contact SBA, the Procurement Technical Assistance Center for your state, for your city and state. They will walk you through everything, all of your certifications, and it's free. I just want to put a plug out there for SBA. So, if you have any questions concerning certifications, please contact your SBA local office, and the Procurement Technical Assistance Center, they will walk you through everything, and it is free of charge.
Okay. So just to piggyback on that, because I get the question often about certifications. So if you're operating and your goal is to operate at the federal level, the key federal certifications are, if you're a woman-owned business, you must be certified by the SBA directly or through its third-party certifiers. As of 2 years ago, October 21, if my memory serves me correct. If you're a veteran and you're disabled, then you want to get the Service Disabled Veteran Certification, which is one of the socioeconomic categories that the federal government by law, not the agencies, but Congress has mandated. And as of January the 1st, all certifications are actually done through the SBA, to include the Service Disabled Veterans certifications, still in conjunction with the VA, but the VA does not do them directly anymore. That's done by the SBA's Office of, I'll just call it, of certifications. And then if your business is in a hub zone and you want to operate as a hub zone business, you must have the hub zone certification from the federal government in order to utilize that certification. And then, so that's service-disabled veteran, woman-owned, hub zone. And then the 8A certification is really a business development certification, not a socioeconomic certification. As she stated, what they track is small disadvantaged businesses. And if you tracking with all the stuff that's going on since President Biden came into office, the equity in federal contracting is what led the increase in the service in the small disadvantaged business goal, which SBA was always tracking, always included 8A, okay? And that's how they get to that number, and they've got to get to 15%. So what does that say to me, Tommy Marks? What it says is agencies, unlike Ms. Warren's agency, who are short of those goals, are really going to be, everybody's reaching out to bring more minority-owned businesses in, because the bulk of the minority-owned business, of the 8A businesses, when you do the demographics, are minority businesses. Not all of them, but the majority are. So that just will help agencies reach those goals. Again, and these are the socioeconomic categories are by law, okay? And that's why those goals have been established really by Congress, and SBA is actually doing the execution of it, and they can only get there with the other federal agencies who get taxed, if you will. And she's right. When I ran the Army Small Business Office, the better you did, the higher your goal was the next year. And you kind of go, geez, how does that math really work? But yes, that's what happens. Do good, get more. So I just wanted to share those nuggets with you. There's a lot of, based on appropriations, all the agencies are getting special dollars. Those dollars won't last forever. But if you're interested in any one of those 10 portfolios that she talked about, what they buy, you really need to understand what they buy and what you're offering. And if you're offering what they buy, then you have an opportunity. Past performance came up. You know, I don't think we'll see anytime soon where they take my personal experience. I worked for Ms. Warren and I got all this background, and then I get out and I form a company. It'd be lovely to be able to transfer that experience to past performance. It just doesn't work that way. But sometimes the way once you form your company and the way you write what you pull together as a team will make all the difference in the world. And every agency looks at it a little differently. The other piece is, if you've never done business with the government, and I know some of you on here, we're not talking about government past performance. It used to be that way back in our day, and both Alice and Michelle and I, we walked that road. But the government now looks at past performance in a portfolio, if that was commercial or private, and you did that work, that's past performance. It doesn't have to be government. So you can bring commercial or private past performance, as long as it lines up with what that requirement is that they're looking for when they put that solicitation out on the street. Okay. So I want to thank everyone for your participation. Michelle, I got to tell you, this is the most questions of any panelist I've ever had that we've gotten. You know, and I've been doing this since 2019, and you did well. Okay, we really appreciate your patience and your time. A lot of great information, and again, most of what you asked her, the information she provided us and those links, it's all there. Okay, and as she stated, and this is a plug for Laverne Walker. If you want to know about NAICS codes and USAD, talk with Laverne Walker. Okay. I'll end by
She'll be here till she's retiring in July, so talk to her now.
You got until about May. Okay. So hey, to the folks out there that have stayed with us on February the 9th, we will have the Food and Drug Administration. I mean, that's kind of a nice segue, right? Because they got to approve all the stuff that they're going out and buy at USAID. And so we're going to have the Food and Drug Administration on the 9th of February. We look forward to your participation. Look out in your emails. We'll be getting the key information out, but come and join us. Again, thank you for your time and patience. We know time is money for your businesses, but hopefully you got some nuggets out of this with Michelle, who did an outstanding job. And again, Michelle, I got to tell you, I was watching the questions. It went up to at least 24 questions, and still, and those are the ones, once they were answered. Now there's still 14 that were unanswered. So we will forward those to her and get a response to them if they haven't already been answered. Thank you very much again, Michelle, and have a great weekend.
Thank you.
Thanks, team. Another outstanding job.